Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about tire pressures on cars. So, just a disclaimer, I am not a mechanic, I am not an expert. I just know quite a bit about cars and stuff like that, and related subjects to cars. So, with that being said, I also invite you to verify everything I've said. You can go on like Tire Rack and stuff like that, and they'll have a lot of the information I'm going to tell you. But so some of it is hard to find, I will say, but and also bear with me. I had a cold like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still coughing a little bit from it's been cold outside, and also my job. I have to use rubbing alcohol a lot, and it makes me cough. So anyway, but so basically, when you get a car, every vehicle will have a sticker, which I will get to in a minute, that will tell you your tire pressures that your tires are supposed to have. So, but what I'm going to tell you first is the way that they rate tire pressures is it's a cold temperature. So, or sorry, a cold rating. And that doesn't mean cold as in like wintertime cold. That means cold as in, um, like you haven't driven it in a while, like 6 hours, or where the air inside the tire is probably the same as it is outside of the tire. That's what they mean a cold temp. It's the ambient temperature. Same thing with engines. It's like the same terminology. So it can be 80 degrees outside. Your cold temperature to check your tires is like 80 degrees. But either way, so every vehicle, except for one so far that I've seen, my 2008 Uplander did not have one. I had to look it up online. I have no idea why it didn't have it, but it didn't. So every vehicle will have a sticker that is on the door jamb right here, and it will tell you all this stuff about your tire pressure. So there's front is 30 psi, rear is 30, and the spare is 60. So, and the Trailblazer, for instance, the front tires are 30 psi and the rears are 35. That's what they're rated at. And the Trailblazer also, I think it's because it's an SUV, and a lot of trucks have, actually, I think almost all trucks have a different sticker too that shows like the vehicle weight rating and stuff like that for towing and hauling. And the Trailblazer has that too. So the Trailblazer actually has two stickers that say that what the pressure should be. And then also on top of that, when you buy tires, or if you look at your tires, they will have along the bead of the tire, which is where the wheel meets the tire. There will be a whole bunch of lettering, like writing on it, and you'll see I'll just throw out a few numbers. Like you might see like a 108T or 108S. Those are load ratings and speed ratings of the tire. But along that same line around the tire, you'll see things like one of them will be maximum pressure, so it says max press. And what that is the maximum pressure that tire can take. There's a lot of people that get confused about that. That is not the tire pressure that you're supposed to pump up your vehicle to. That is the tire pressure that the tire is rated to handle at the max. So, for instance, the Trailblazer, the tire's maximum pressure is 44 psi. So, under any circumstance, you should not go above 44 psi cold temperature also. So, what happens when you drive, you get friction from the tire on the road, and the air inside the tire gets warmer, which makes it expand. So, every vehicle, that's why they want you to have your cold temperature because, or your cold PSI, because this one's supposed to be 30, for instance, and while you're driving on the road, it might go up to 33, 34. That's already been accounted for with the vehicles. So when they rate them like that, that's how they already count for it. So even though in the wintertime, they do increase a few PSI from being warmed up. So, excuse me. So then the maximum pressure, like I said, the Trailblazer has 30 for the pressure that the front tires are supposed to be, with a maximum pressure of 44. So what that means is when a vehicle is made in the factory, it comes with certain tires. Those tires are what are rated for that pressure, that PSI. So for instance, this car, I don't know what it came with from the factory, but we'll just say it had Goodyear tires on it. And those tires were rated at 30 psi. Well, if you get new tires, different brands, different types of tires, different treads, there's different rubber compounds, so it's not going to be exactly the same unless you buy the exact same tire, or you get lucky and get the exact same hardness of tire. But excuse me. So what you do is when you get those new tires, you pump them up to 30, or whatever your vehicle says, that's what you pump them up to. And what you do is you look at it after a few thousand miles, and you look at the wear pattern of the vehicle on the tires. So if your tires are overinflated, the middle of the tread will be shallower than the outside edges. The outside edges will keep more tread, because when it's overinflated, the middle touches, but the edges don't touch as much. And then when they're underinflated, it's the opposite. The edges will be worn down more than the middle. So if that's the case, then you want to adjust accordingly. If it's not the case, then just keep driving it how it is. It should be fine. So what you do, though, is, like I said, you start out, like, for instance, this car is 30 psi. When I buy new tires, I put them at 30 psi. If they're underinflated, if they look like they're underinflated from the wear, I pump them up like 2 psi and let it go again. Drive it again. Go another 3,000-4,000 miles, or until you can tell that something, like, it's wearing more. If it's wearing good, then you're good. If it wears the same, that also most likely means that you pumped it up to the correct psi, because the wear, if you have the same psi, the wear is going to wear down evenly. So since if it was already overinflated and it wore funny, and then now it wears the same, that means that you equaled it out, or you pumped up to the right psi. If you underinflate, then you can even them out, but you don't want to do that, because underinflation can lead to tires popping more. A couple psi is not going to matter, but if they go too low, they can pop. Excuse me. And then the other thing is, you don't have to worry about this if you live in warmer climates, but I'm in Ohio. I have, like, right now it's 40 degrees outside. Yesterday it was 20. Tomorrow it's supposed to be 14. So either way, what you do in the cold temperatures is you check your tires when it gets cold. So this one is supposed to be 30 psi. In the wintertime, when it's 20 degrees outside, it might go down to like 26 psi, something like that. So what you want to do is you want to pump them up to 30 again. But in return, when spring starts and it starts warming up, you want to deflate those tires again. Like, you want to let the air out to even them out to 30 again, because they will be up at like 34, 35, whatever, because you put more air in them. And what happens is, in the cold, you still have the same amount of air in there, but the air shrinks. It doesn't take up as much volume, so it creates less pressure because it's taking up less space. So that's what happens. And then the other thing is, with leaks and stuff, so you have different things you can have, or they can make your tire leak. One of them is punctures, one of them is the bead of the tire. So what happens is, a lot of vehicles, the wheels are made of steel or aluminum or magnesium, and they corrode or rust. So what happens is the metal gets rough like sandpaper, and that creates tiny, tiny air gaps. So the air will leak out of that tire from that area. The only way to fix that is to take it to a tire place. You can check that by going to you can check that by getting a spray bottle that has soapy water in it. You have to take your wheel and tire off of your vehicle. You don't have to, but it's best to do that because you can check the whole tire. And you spray it with that soapy water out of the spray bottle. And if you see air bubbles, that's where your leaks are. Anywhere that you see air bubbles forming, that's where your leaks are. So a lot of vehicles, especially if you cannot find anything in the tread, that's where the leak will be, is along the bead. And then if you have one in the tread, you can get a tire plug. They sell them at Walmart and like AutoZone and stuff. You can get them, and that's a permanent fix for the tire. but it's basically like a piece of rubber that has like tar on it, and you have to put it in a certain way. There's videos on YouTube how to do it, and there's also instructions on the back. But you put them in, and that's a permanent fix. Or you can use slime if you have a puncture. Excuse me. But just be aware. For one thing, follow what it says on its bottle. Fix a Flat's the same. I have never had good luck with Fix a Flat, but I have used slime before. For one thing, it makes a huge mess inside the tire, so when you take it somewhere to get it fixed, they might charge you more because of all the mess that you make. But I've never heard of that. I mean, sorry, I've never had it happen to me, but I've heard of it. And then the other thing is that when you have slime in your tire, it's supposed to harden. And I think you're only supposed to go like 35 miles an hour at the most, and also like no more than like 30 or 50 miles or something like that. So it's a very, very, very temporary fix. And it's just supposed to be able to get you home where you can fix it, or get you to a tire place or a mechanic to get it fixed. So that's all that's for. So please follow the instructions on the back of the can. And do not think that you can go farther or go faster or anything like that. You shouldn't. You can roll over your vehicle if it pops. So, but with that being said, with like riding lawnmowers and stuff, the tire doesn't go fast enough for the slime to kind of like get bumped out of it. And even if it does, you're not going to roll over a riding lawnmower from a flat tire. So, from it popping when you're driving. So, so you can use it on riding lawnmowers all you want, stuff like that. But four-wheelers, anything that goes pretty fast that can roll over and kill you, that's something that you do not want to mess with. So use the slime, and then pump up the tire, and then take it to a place to actually get it fixed. And then the other thing is if you have a puncture that is not within the tread that actually touches the road, that tire is pretty much trash. Like, you have to replace it. If it's in the sidewall anywhere, if it's even at the top of the tread, if it's coming in from the side, it could possibly still be very dangerous to drive, even if you fix it. But because the sidewall flexes more, so it creates more areas for the air to come out. So with the tread, though, if it's within that tread area, you can get one of those permanent plugs like I mentioned, and that'll fix it. But the other thing is, after you fix it, you're going to want to spray it with soapy water also to make sure that you sealed it. So, but anyway, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I will say again, I am not an expert. I am not a mechanic. I just know quite a bit about cars. Like I said before, I invite you to verify everything I said. Tire Rack will probably have about 80% of what I told you, or other tire places, tire websites will tell you the same thing. But the rest of it, some of it's kind of hard to find, but you can find it. Excuse me. So, but I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe, and leave comments if you would like. Like I said, questions, comments. I will try to answer any questions. And I really appreciate you watching. And then also, if you're a video gamer, I started a second channel that is strictly video games, and I will put the link for that in the description of this video. So if you're not here for video games, thank you for watching. If you are here and you are a video gamer, please check out my other channel. It's called Lois Must Die 15 Gaming. I know it's a long name, but please check that out, and please like and subscribe, and that'll help me out a lot. I just started it like 2 months ago, and I'm trying to re-upload stuff every 2 days, and I have stuff that I have uploaded from this channel that I re-uploaded just to get it started, and then I have been uploading new stuff since about a month ago. So so please check that out. I would really appreciate it, and I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe on that channel and this channel. It would really help me out. So thank you for watching.